Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I believe this is the 4th day of February 2026. It is 30 degrees. We've had some rain, but I think the roads are fine. I guess there could be black ice someplace, but I think they're pretty much, salted and stuff, that it's not too bad. But we're going to take it easy anyway. We're not going to go flying down the road and across this bridge like I'm sure some people will, because it probably just has turned this cold. So, anyway, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So, we'll slow down. And if these cars want to go on, hey, go on. Go on. So we're going to talk about Tim. You know that we're going to talk about that rant yesterday. Now, yesterday I forgot my phone at home. My newest phone. I took my old one to work. So I couldn't upload until I got home. I kept trying to get them to sync together, because, they should sync together in the cloud, but they never did. It never happened until I got home. So anyway, I don't know how it all works. But I know as long as I'm at home, they sync together, but when I'm not, they don't. So I couldn't upload till I got home. And then it took forever to upload because it uploaded in 4K. When I'm at home, it uploads in 4K. When I'm at work, it doesn't upload in 4K. So, whatever. Now, there's a couple of things I want to talk about in the rant. He's all the time talking about you be you, I be me, or I be me, you be you, whatever he wants to say. But yet he gets on there and talks about, telling you that you need to take Social Security at 62 and blah, blah, blah. He never, he claims he don't tell you what to do, but yet he does. Does he not remember what he says in his own videos? I'm not going to say he tells you exactly what to do, but he insinuates that you're crazy if you don't take it at 62. That's one thing. Of course, I know that there's probably some reasons why he went on this rant, and he probably didn't like what he got in the mail. And if y'all if y'all go join Ray's membership, Life and Vibe, you'll understand why. But anyway, I'm not going to tell the stories. I'm just going to say, go join Ray's membership live. Her memberships, and then join the live, and you'll know a lot. And if I could get my memberships to grow, I might do some of those videos, but I can't. It's growing. I just feel like I need to have at least 20 people. And maybe if I just go on and do live, I wouldn't happen to. Anyway, I know I always constantly put myself down, and some of you don't like that. But anyway, I just don't have a lot of self-confidence, y'all. I just don't. I know I need to work on it. Okay, now. Well, let's cut that off. Let me get my old phone, because there was something else I wanted to talk about. Okay, on the his rant video, he tells that story. I think it was on that video. Maybe it was on a different video. I don't know. They all run together after a while. And I didn't print out any, AI stuff. He tells this story of this man. He says it's a video he watched about this man. His name was Tom. Can he not come up with a better name than Tom? Now, I don't really know if he really saw this video, or if somebody just told him about this video, or he's making it up out of thin air and that's all the name he could think of. But Tom, lost his wife, and then his sons wanted him to find somebody else. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Sorry. I've never known children to go out and tell your father or your mother to go find somebody else. I mean, they may not object to it, but I don't know that they actually encourage it. It probably depends on the age. But let's just say, for the instance of the story, they encouraged him to go out and find somebody new. And then he did, and then he was miserable. Now, this is where I'm going to say this. If the story had been the opposite of the guy going out and find somebody else and him being happy, never heard the story. You would have never heard the story. His stories always, are the way he's talking about. Just like the ones about with Social Security. He never talks to anybody that says they waited and they're glad they're waited. It's always the story meets whatever he's trying to push. He just never meets anybody that thinks differently than him. So anyway, I'll move on from that. I'm sure there's more that I want to say, but for right now, it's slipped my mind. We're going to go on to copyright abuse. Now, we know that Tim is guilty of this by throwing copyright abuse out. Fair use allows for critiquing other creators, and as long as that's what you're doing, it's supposed to be allowed. Now, so I searched on abusing the copyright system on YouTube because I think that it needs to be reviewed. And misuse of copyright strikes. The 3-strike system can be weaponized to get a competitor or a critic's channel terminated. Okay, that is a misuse of the copyright system. And the consequences of silencing your critics is misuse of the YouTube processes can result in the termination of the abuser's account and other restrictions. Now, what does that mean? That means you lose your YouTube channel. Any other channels that is tied to that email address, you use your email address, and you're out of the system. And it could be forever, or it could be for ever how long. And, of course, it goes on to tell you how to address the abuse, that if you've been abused, and I, for one, believe with all my heart, Tim has been abusing the system. And I'm sure there are others that have abused the system. Now, the problem I have with the system is because you have to give your mailing address in order to fight the claim. I don't agree with that. And I think you have to give a physical address. I mean, if Ray's watching, she can tell me if it's your mailing address or your physical address, because I don't agree with that. Now, I understand if it's music, but I mean, most people aren't going to find a music copyright anyway. But when you're having to give out every small channel, and let's just say this, Tim has a small channel. He may think it's big and popular, and because he's got all these millions of views. But to me, if you have under 100,000 subscribers, in the whole scheme of things, you don't have a great big channel. He doesn't get hundreds of thousands of views a day. Maybe at one time he did for a little while, but it didn't last. And my thing is that you should not have to give out that information until you reach the 3rd strike. To me, the 1st strike, 2nd strike, you should not have to do that. And I'm not sure you should even have to do it on the 3rd strike, but that's just my opinion. And I mean, that's the reason I don't do reaction videos. Now, if I'm going to do something, I might put up a little clip. But, you know, to do reaction. And I mean, I would love to do reaction videos. Mostly on beauty. I mean, sure, I'd like to do some on Tim. But, and I'm not going to say I never have. But I would love to do reaction videos on beauty channels. And I do see some people doing them. So they get by with it. Anyway. Another thing I want to talk about. It just crossed my mind on the Christian part. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church. I am a member of a Southern Baptist church. Now, I've not been there in years, and I have my reasons why. If I were to start going back to church today, chances are I would not go to a Southern Baptist church. It's not that I can't live that way, the way they preach. It's just that from my point of view that I have seen, I would feel that 60% of that church do not live the way they preach. And this is from my observation. And yeah, it's probably a sin because I'm saying that, but it's just from my observation. If I went back to church, I don't know where I would go.
The point I'm trying to make is I'm not going to a church where the leaders of that church don't practice what they preach. And from what I have seen in this area,
okay, I got to remember to cut
none
that
of those
out.
leaders truly practice even close
where I coughed really
to
bad.
what they preach.
That's my opinion on that. I do not think Tim is a real Christian. He does not practice Christian values from anything I have ever seen. He has said he has an alcohol problem, and I know we are supposed to forgive, but he does not practice what I think true alcoholics who are trying to get away from it should practice. He uses colorful language that I don't feel, on camera, that I don't feel should be a part of his language. And that's just my opinion. Anyway. Then, we're going to move on to a different subject. We're going to start talking about Tim. And we're going to talk about Savannah Guthrie's mother. Now, I've gotten into this case. Maybe because she's older. Of course, my mom was by herself a lot. You know, not at the very end, but for a long time. And, of course, I'm getting there. I mean, if I live that long, that'd be great. So, it's just, I don't know, it's just caught my attention. Now, I hope and pray it is not any of the family members. And I understand, though, you have to look there first. That's just the way the investigation goes. But I'm thinking, why would anybody do this? She could not get around good. And like the police have said, and I've seen other reporters say, it would be a burden to take her out of that house. And then I've seen the stains on the walkway. And I don't know. It just don't look good. And I mean, I just can't imagine what they're going through. I can't. So I just hope and pray she's found okay, but it just don't look good, y'all. And that's all I can say about that. But I wonder if anybody else is keeping up with it like I am. And today is race day. Hopefully the sun is out right now. But we are supposed to have a little bit more rain, and it's supposed to change to snow. So I don't know if they'll race or not. I was going to wear my race day sweatshirt. Then I thought, no, it might be a omen. I don't know why they didn't race yesterday. I felt they could have got it ready, but I don't make those decisions. It's probably a good thing. All right, y'all, I got to go to work. So I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. And I do appreciate each and every one of you. Click the thumbs up. Hype the video if you can. And if you want to. And leave me a comment. Talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye. Subscribe if you haven't. I forgot. Onward and upward. I'm never going to get that into it. I keep forgetting when I'm trying to say that. We're onward and upward, y'all. Yes, we are. See ya. Love you. Bye.